This is Paving the Way to March Madness, presented by nicolock. Let's talk about the new coaching hires and all the rumors in men's college basketball with New York Post college basketball guru, Zach Braziller. Zach, it's like the transfer portal for coaches right now. It feels like, man, let's take these folks, Zach, to school because these coaches are switching schools. We'll start with Dusty May. He's trading in his suntan lotion for a triple fat goose winter jacket. He's leaving FAU, and he's now the head guy in Michigan. Did Michigan get their guy?
Yeah, I think it's a great hire for Michigan. I was very surprised he didn't take Louisville. But, yeah, he's a program architect. What he did at Florida Atlantic was incredible. Back-to-back NCAA tournaments, a Final Four for a program that had never even won an NCAA tournament game before. Honestly, I think Indiana dropped the ball big time. I understand Mike Woodson made the tournament a few times, but Indiana was a mess this year. Woodson got to the tournament with Archie Miller's players. Dusty May was an Indiana team manager. I think Indiana's going to regret sticking with Woodson for 1 year too many here and not hiring Dusty May. I think Louisville is kicking themselves they couldn't get done. You also had heard Vanderbilt was interested in May, but they just hired James Madison coach Mark Byington. But yeah, I think it's a great hire for Michigan. They made the right move, moving on from Juwan Howard. Indiana should have done the same thing with Mike Woodson.
Going to have to circle that Indiana-Michigan game. That's going to be 2 times next basketball season. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Drake's Darian DeVries is now the man in Morgantown. He'll be the 3rd coach in the past 9 months to lead the West Virginia Mountaineers. Is this a good move for the coach, for DeVries?
Yeah, I do. Look, I think it is. He's a guy who's had a ton of success at Drake. He's a really good coach. They made the tournament this year. And all reports are he's bringing his son Tucker, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, with him. His son's big-time wing, really talented guy. Look, it's obviously a really tough conference. Big 12, to me, is the best league in the country every year. It will not be easy, but this is a guy who's had success. He gets to move up to a big job. I like it for West Virginia. I really like it for West Virginia, and I like it for him. He's put in his time at the mid-major level. Why not take your shot here at a place that, it's a good job. I think they will have reasonable expectations. They will not, he'll get time there. So, yeah, I think it was a good move for him as well.
Good job, and you can take your kid with you. Sounds like Coach Prime going out to Colorado with Shedeur Sanders on this one. Let's get to some of these rumors that are swirling around the internet. There's one linking Seton Hall head coach Shaheen Holloway to the Louisville job. Is there any truth in those reports, and do you think that Louisville could even get Holloway away from his alma mater?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt there's truth to them. He interviewed yesterday. You've heard other names in there as well. Pat Kelsey from Charleston. Would Louisville pull the trigger on Shaheen Holloway? I have my doubts. I think Shaheen Holloway ends up getting an extension from Seton Hall, something he has wanted, and there has been talk of that. I also have a hard time seeing Shaheen Holloway leave his alma mater, which he has called his dream job, after 2 years. Then again, this is Louisville. This is a top 10 job with incredible resources Seton Hall just can't sniff. So I do think Seton Hall fans feel a little nervous until they hear of maybe a new deal and an extension with Holloway. But I think I still doubt this happens. Still, the fact that he interviewed, the fact Louisville's clearly interested has to worry Pirates fans.
Any new rumors or updates coming out of Kentucky? Do you think that they could possibly part ways with John Calipari?
Look, you're hearing a lot of different things. There is talk that people think that it's not working. But look, $33 million buyout, that's a ton of money, obviously. He still has the number 1 recruiting class in the country coming in next year. I understand that Nestle hasn't meant anything in recent years on the court, but I still have a hard time seeing him not being the coach next year. Now,
$33 million in the number 1 recruiting class. That means you don't have to put your house up for mortgage. You're staying in place. All right, Zach.
Yeah, look, I think the only way this does it, that he's not the coach, is if he decides I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
I think 1 more year. Look, if they have another year where they lose early, maybe that changes things. But I think he'll be the coach there next year. But there are people that kind of have some doubts about it. Maybe maybe he had some second thoughts, but ultimately I do think he'll be the coach there next year.
Zach Braziller, thanks for your time.
Of course, man. Anytime.